Same feelings as the other day? Anything different today?
I thought we played a little bit faster today if you look at the number of reps we're getting, and I think they're starting to get a little bit more comfortable with what we want. It's hard when you first get out on day one and they haven't practiced with the coaches around for since January. So they were better tempo today. We'll go in and look at the execution and all that. And it's really, really hard to practice in shorts, and it's especially on the defense, because they're running up and they're supposed to make tackles, but they can't tackle and they got to let the back go. But to get these 2 days out of the way, I'm happy kind of where we are. And then Saturday will be a big test because we put the pads back on.
Shells then Saturday?
No, we can be in full pads on Saturday, so we'll be in full on Saturday.
Thomas look sharp?
Yeah, Darren, it's different. It's a different spring for him. Last year he was competing for a starting job, and him and Nate, was not as much getting everybody else aligned, but worrying about what they were doing. And now you can see he's really trying to take on that leadership role. And I talked about it the other day. We've lost some really good leaders, and to see how that void's going to be taken care of. But he looks sharp. The last 2 days, I think he's got a better command of what we're doing, and that obviously comes from having 13 starts under his belt now. So,
how do you go about cultivating leaders? Do you just kind of wait for them to emerge? Do you have?
No, we've spent a lot of time on that in the off season. We're allowed to talk about that stuff. So we have 16 team squad leaders at each position, and I meet with them a couple times and kind of talk about where they are. The one thing I think about having so many is, we have some guys like a David Paulson who's maybe not vocal, but he's just such a great example, is that you can use him for certain characteristics. Some other guys are more vocal. I think the collective group of them will lead us, and that's the formula that worked for us last year. But, we're just young, and that's the interesting part to see how those guys emerge. So.
Did you do much special teams the other day?
Yeah, the same thing. We'll do 25 minutes every day. There'll be a 5-minute period to start right after team, and then we'll have 2 10-minute blocks in there, and we've always done that. So Oz gets 25 minutes every day.
Special teams in the spring versus during the season, any different, more fundamental?
Yeah, it's a lot more fundamental, an understanding of our scheme, but we're not going over a million different looks that Oregon State would be running on their punt block team. It's just more of guys getting an understanding, and then also trying to work in who are the young guys, because we did lose a lot of special teams players last year too. So.
What do you see from your offensive line? Lost a lot of guys there.
Again, it's tough because we're not in pads, so that cooperation that has to go on between the O and D line, I'm sure that's the 2 positions that probably hate shorts practice more than anybody, because you have to block each other, but don't hit me too hard because I don't have pads on, but don't push me back too hard because so they got to cooperate. So I think the big thing for those guys in the first 2 days is assignment. Are they making sure they're getting to the right people, and then they're getting technique work with Wood in individual practice. But really, Saturday is really when practice begins for those guys. So.
Carrington Armstrong is filling in for Jordan Holmes, stepping in for Jordan Holmes. How has he done?
He's okay, and that's an open battle. It's just whoever's taking the snap. So it'll be between Carrington and Ronas and see if they can handle it. And if we figure out that one of those guys can't, then we'll have to move somebody else. But those 2 guys are battling. There's really no depth chart for us right now. We get so many reps in every period that everybody's getting the same amount of reps. So it's just go out there and go. It's more of a rotation than a depth chart.
Passport aside to hotel management?
No, he's an excused absence. He'll be back tomorrow. So.
Defensively, Josh Kaddu coming back in the linebackers is the one returning starter. I know you guys play so many guys, but what does he bring?
Yeah, we always felt like Josh and Bo both started because they both played equal amount of snaps. So, it's surprising. It goes so fast. He's a senior now. And I think he's got to step into that leadership role. He's obviously had a great offseason from a conditioning standpoint, and now really with the loss of Spencer and Casey, who's going to step up at linebacker. And so, you're counting on Josh, you're counting on Baseko Lakumbo, you're counting on Michael Clay. But the good thing in terms of what we do defensively, we played so many guys last year, they got a lot of reps and a lot of experience under their belt. So.
Larry Scott said yesterday with a possible NFL lockout, you guys might be playing on Sundays. What are your thoughts on that?
Just tell me when to play. I'll play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I don't care. As long as it's good for the fans in Oregon, that's all I care about.